welcome to another video of Vibing with Via. As you can see here, I have a nice bad boy, a nice size snapper fish, and guess what? Today I'm going to be oven roasting this fish. All right, now I have a few things that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be making this very quick and very easy. I'll be using the Kiehl's Jamaican jerk marinade, the mild version. I have me some black pepper, some ground pimento, I have some ginger powder, and I do have some salt, and I'm going to be adding, I think, a little bit of paprika as well. Who is calling me? Anyway, I'm just going to be combining all of these herbs in this little dish so that I can use it to season the fish outside and also the cavity. So I'm getting the marinade ready. By the way, I've just added a little bit of coconut oil with some of the jerk sauce here, and this is what I'm going to be using to season the fish. So this is ready. I'll just allow it to cool down. Ooh. So to season this, I've just gone ahead and scored the fish. As you notice, it's just a little bit of cut marks that I'm putting here, and I will do this on both sides. It doesn't have to be you know, you could do it in any direction. Some persons will make it into like X's if they'd like. I'm just putting it in one direction here for now. So I'm going to flip the fish over, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. So like this here, you can actually trim this up. I might just leave it there. It's optional. But for presentation reasons, some persons will remove this. But for me, sometimes if it's not excessive, like if it's not sticking out and in the way, you know, I just leave it. And also where the tail is concerned, the tail could be trimmed, but it's no big deal. It's going to be roasted, so it's all going to be fine. So the idea is that we're just going to score this, as I said, with the knife, and what it does is to allow for the seasoning to really get into the crevices and the corners of the fish, right, for added flavor. Okay, I'm going to combine my ingredients now. Adding some paprika. I wish I had smoked paprika. I don't. Ginger, always essential in my cooking. Really don't make anything without ginger. Quite love the taste and the flavor of ginger. I'm adding a little bit of ground pimento with a nice flavor when it is grilled. Really nice. Of course, how can you cook fish without all essential pepper? I'm using some black pepper here. And I'm also going to be adding some salt. More salt than the ordinary because, again, fish, fresh fish, that's not so nice, right? So that looks like enough salt that I'm going to be adding. I think I'll add one other thing. Some cayenne, and I also think I'm going to add just a touch of, what should I add? Just a touch of lemon pepper. That's what I'm going to be adding. So here we have the ingredients, and I'm just combining it using a fork. Nothing too fancy, just to incorporate it. This is going to season our meat. Now that this is done, quick and easy, I'm just gonna go in, and everybody knows this, you know, I really don't like to touch meat with my hand, but this is it. Just gonna go in, season the fish. Soon get to the section where you'll notice that I'll rub it in the crevices and corner, but for now it's just putting it there. By the way, you know this fish is fresh. I've told you this before over here. The way to know that the fish is fresh is by looking at the eye. If you see it look clear and pretty, you know that this is fresh fish, right? Alright, so we're just seasoning. Always good for you to hold your hand a little distance above it so that the seasoning can spread. You know, some people do this. It's really not this, it's this. Right? So it's more evenly distributed. So I love to cook with a lot of seasoning, you know this as well. I'm going to get into the cavity now. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to touch this with my hand. On the inside here, just gonna put the seasoning in here. So this is it. The fish is actually seasoned. And now it's time for me to go on with the marinade that I'm adding. And this is the jerk marinade. I'm just gonna use a spoon here to rub it over it. Just spread it all over the fish, as you can see here. I'm also gonna be putting it in the cavity. All right, so just pay attention to what's happening. The important thing is that this jerk sauce, which I have basically added a little bit of olive oil to, or coconut oil. You can use either or. Some people might use vegetable oil, but I quite like olive oil or coconut oil. My preference is olive oil as well. I've just put the jerk seasoning on the stove top with this, put it together. Marinade is ready, and it's just going all over the fish. Okay, so I'm going to be doing this on both sides. Please note, both sides. And I'm also going to be putting it in the cavity of the fish. So I won't bore you on camera with this, but I'll show you the next step shortly. The fish is ready. If you look into the cavity, which is right here, you can see that the jerk seasoning is also there. So I'm now going to put this in foil paper. As usual, there's a dog next door that's barking. As long as I'm recording, this dog will bark. Okay, time for the foil paper. So in wrapping the fish, right, I want to do it more like a tent wrap. So I don't want the foil paper to go all the way down on the fish. So I'm just basically doing this. As you can see, doing it as a tent wrap. So there's some space in between. Like this. Want to leave it too, so that when I want to check this at the 15 mark interval, it's easy for me to do so. Alright, so I'm just gonna do this. Fold this side up, and then there's this side. Basically gonna fold it up and seal here. That's it. It's ready for the oven. So you can let this sit in the foil paper here and marinate just a little bit more until the oven becomes hot. And of course I'm going to prepare the oven, well, at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Also Fahrenheit? Yeah, 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm going to have this basically cook up for about put it on bake. Some people may use broil. I think on my oven I'm gonna go with bake, and I'm gonna do this for 15 minutes, and then I'll show you now how I will get it to crisp up for another 5 minutes after the fact. It's now in the oven. Notice that I have a baking tray here, which I've also lined with foil paper, and then I've put the wrapped fish on top of that. As you can see here, this fish is clearly cooked. So what I'm going to do is to go ahead and place a piece of lemon wedge in the center, and I'm also going to be putting some okra to the side, and perhaps a few pieces of carrot, and I'm going to allow this now to crisp up for the next 10 minutes. The fish is cooked, in fact maybe I could have had this in there for 15 minutes as opposed to 20, but let's see how this turns out. 10 minutes tops, and then we're ready. So there you have it, guys. This is the finished product. This is our grilled fish, or oven grilled fish. Look at the char that is on it. That looks really good. And of course the vegetables too, the okra and the carrot, that's also grilled, so to speak, or baked for want of a better word. And we have a little piece of lemon that we have put to the end. The important thing about the lemon too is that it reduces the fish smell, the little raw scent that you'll have with fish. And also because I was putting it in the oven, you don't want the oven to have this fishy scent, right? So the lemon is very good for keeping that down. So this is fully cooked. If you look inside this score, you could see nothing but white meat. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment and subscribe, and of course try this recipe and let me know how it turned out for you. See you in the next video.
It's vibing with Via, so grab your phone, grab your tablet, I this you can't miss. It's vibing with Via, and once you start this you can't quit. You are gonna love this. It's vibing with Via, vibing with Via. Yeah, we vibing with, yeah, we vibing with Via.